Hello and welcome back to Icy Donuts. Today we're going to be making a baby minion cake. Before we get started on the actual cake, we have to make some things out of icing and allow them to dry. This is mainly the eye goggle. So what I've done first is taken a strip of gum paste and wrapped it around a fizzy drinks can. Once on the can, I've cut away 2 semicircles around the side of the icing. This will just help the goggle fit on the minion's face. After that, it's just a case of colouring it in silver edible paint to make it look metal. Then taking the back of a knife, I'm just putting some detail at the edge around the side of the goggle. With straw, I'm making little rivets to go on the outside. I'm also going to be making the minion's eye in advance, just to give that time to dry. You will need 3 cake boards, 1 big base and 2 smaller ones, and then just drill a hole through the centre. Taking 6 round cakes that I previously baked and jammed the knife in the middle. Take 3 of them and put them on the smaller of the cake boards. I've placed the wooden dowel in the hole where I drilled on the cake board. This will act as the main support for the cake. And to act as the minion's feet, I've just used a piece of black PVC pipe covered in icing, and then you just slot down the 3 cakes on top of that. Just using 3 plastic rods, these are supports that have been cut to shape to hold the top layer. After sliding down your last cake board, you then stack the remaining 3 cakes on top of that. Then, taking some time just to smooth out the edges of the cake and round off the top and the bottom to look like a large tic tac. After that, it's just covering a base layer of buttercream icing and placing in the fridge. After the icing has had time to set, you're just going to take some yellow fondant and cover the top third of the minion, and then cut it to shape. Taking 2 supports and then sliding down 2 rolled up pieces of yellow fondant. This is going to act as the minion's arms and put them where you think the arms should be on the cake. To make it easier for yourself, roll out a rectangular sized piece of yellow fondant. This will be wrapped around the cake and over the arms and joined up at the back. Make sure that the top of this fondant meets the top of the third that you put on previously. Once that fondant's in place, you can pull out the plastic supports and make the arms longer, like 2 sausages on either side. On the bottom of the minion, all you need to do is put white icing in 3 or 4 pieces. This will act as his nappy, or from America, his diaper. On the next piece of white icing, I've placed a mat on top, which I've rolled into it to give it an impression of a pattern. This icing is then placed on his head to act as the hat. Notice that it's going to be covering the seam where the 2 bits of yellow icing meet. For an added bit of detail, I'm just putting 2 silver pins on the nappy to make it look more realistic. Taking a pastry cutter and a scalpel blade, I'm just going to cut a circular disc out of the hat. This is where the eye is going to be. To make the eye, it's just a circular piece of white icing, and then you put the iris piece that you made earlier in the centre, and then a yellow piece of semicircle icing to act as his eyelid. For the hands, all you need to do is cover the ends of the arms with some black icing, and then fix them in place. The dummy is 2 bits of red icing, 1 circular shape, and the other is a sausage to make the handle, I think. You can give the baby an expression however you want. I've gone for happy, and then taken the strip of red icing that threads through the hand of the dummy and around the back of the minion's head. Using a number of sausage-shaped blue icing, I've built up a fuzzy bubble to go on top of his head. It's so fluffy! And then just placing some heart-shaped blue icing to give the hat more detail. And finally, taking 2 plastic dowels and place them in the minion's head just above the eyelid. This will hold the eye goggle in place.
bottom.
You do take after your mother.